What's up, guys? Breast Michael RC here. Today I want to discuss kind of a hot button item, I guess, is what it would be called, kind of a hot button item. This video I was actually talking and flying at the same time. We all know I'm not very good at talking and flying at the same time, and it was just kind of all over the place. It was actually the very first two batteries, so it's basically recon packs that I'm just kind of flying around and getting a feel for the area. So I wasn't doing anything special, and I was just kind of trying to practice what I was going to talk about. But honestly, it's so spread apart, and I've got such bad squirrel, you know what I mean? Like, I get off topic way too easily because I see something here or there. What I wanted to do is just do a little voiceover to kind of talk about this, because my whole feed has been filled with nothing but remote ID stuff for the past few weeks. And a lot of the videos are from like 9 months ago, 3 months ago, and things like that. I have seen that. So I don't even know if it's really that big of a thing anymore, or if people have just kind of went on their way. But since getting back into FPV after being out of FPV for 2 years, I never really kept up with FPV. I didn't really continue to watch a lot of the FPV videos and stuff, and some of this stuff is almost new to me. The technology and some of the things have changed so much. Everybody that's a subscriber knows that I'm still flying analog, and I'm planning on getting into HD here soon. HD was just in its infancy when I stopped flying. I'm having to go through a lot of videos from, way back, just to kind of get caught up with how everything's going. And I know when I stopped flying, there was a big push for everybody to register their drones, to go online, register your drone, all this different stuff, and nobody really wanted to do it. It was just kind of dumb. It was a little bit of government overreach. And then when I started getting back into flying, I started realizing that there was all these remote ID things that you can buy and put onto your drone, and a lot of different pilots talking about it, and Joshua Bardwell doing like a reply video to bot grinders, I won't comply type video, and kind of got some thoughts behind it of my own. I'm not a really big fan of government overreach, and one of the things is government overreach is always going to happen unless we have a way to stand up against overreach, just like guns and things like that. The thing about drones is Pandora's box has already been opened. People are going to fly. It's a lot of fun. It's almost the most fun that you can have with your pants on. The pilots who love flying, they're going to continue to fly their old equipment until all their old equipment breaks, and if they can't get their hands on any new equipment, they're just going to go out and do what they used to do when there wasn't equipment around in the first place. Back in 2014, 2015, when I first started getting into it, some people were putting Arduinos with Wii remote control stuff on there and flying some really cruddy FPV drones. People know how to do this stuff now, so people know how to create ESCs. People know how to create flight control boards, and there's always going to be somebody out there because there's a need for it, and there's people who want to do it. So the government knows that they absolutely cannot shut Pandora's box. But what they will try to do is regulate this and regulate this and regulate this into extinction. They're not safety concerns. It's just the government, the United States government, trying to overreach until people get fed up with it enough that new pilots just kind of look at it and go, I don't want to get into this type of a hobby because there's way too much government intervention. And then when the FAA starts handing out and issuing fines, the fines are out of control. They're and I don't know if anybody's actually paid any fines. I know that there's a pilot that got fined. You look at it and it's like a $10,000 fine. It's like, who's going to pay a $10,000 fine? It doesn't make any sense. It's just way too much. It's the government overstepping. They're overstepping on their rules by creating stupid rules that have nothing to do with safety. And then when their version of a safety rule has been broken, then they fine somebody and do way too much. And other people look at that and they go, I don't have $10,000 to spend. I don't have anybody who's going to fight this in court or anything like that. Like, I don't know if I have anybody in the hobby community that has my back if something like this happens. So what do a lot of new people do that see this remote ID and see registration and things like that? They just go, this isn't worth my time. And it causes a lot of issues. But then there's those steadfast pilots who say, no matter what the government does, no matter what the government says, we're going to fly anyways. And damn the government. Imagine yourself driving a car. You're driving down the road. Every one of these remote ID things costs money. So let's just take the iFlight one for an example. That one's like $100. The way that I kind of imagine it is you're driving down a road in your car. And as you're driving down the road, you exceed the speed limit. And as you exceed the speed limit, you go, oh crap, I've broke the law. So you pull over to the side of the road, you call the police, and you say, and that call costs you $100 to make that call. And you say, listen, I've exceeded the speed limit. I'm speeding. I'm going to sit here on the side of the road and wait for you to come and give me a ticket. That's what remote ID is. And if you were to break it down into that simplest concept, then every single pilot, every single person in the United States of America would be like, that's just stupid. There's no reason for us to be doing the job of the police for them. And then you look at the fines, the police department started making so much money and being able to buy these technologically advanced vehicles and all this different stuff, that they look at it as now like a business. We've got to create criminals so we can make more money for our departments so we can get more stuff. And if we're not careful, that's exactly what the FAA is going to do. Now, the one good thing about it is, even when it comes to the police department, there's a whole industry now of judges and lawyers and prosecutors and things like that have been built on the backs of these police going out and creating criminals. There are actually bad people who are criminals who deserve to be put through the justice system, but a lot of the people that actually get stuck in the middle aren't actually criminals. They may have just, accidentally did something and the police were just assholes. I think as a drone community, the answer to this remote ID is, what I really hate is all the influencers are getting on, like Joshua Bardwell, making a whole thing and actually doing reviews on iFlight's remote ID, or these other, I've seen him do like several remote ID things and offering you, while winking at the same time and saying, wink, wink, like, it's up to you if you want to comply or not. I think the best option is just any influencer, any person, Rotor Riot, any of these guys who are big people in the industry, they need to come out with videos saying, listen, this is stupid. No wink, wink. This is stupid. We're not even gonna let people know about these because it's dumb. Every influencer needs to go on and just say, we're not going to comply. Nobody's going to comply. No influencer is going to comply. Nobody's going to do any reviews. iFlight needs to come out and just be like, we're not selling that thing anymore. I know that we did this and I get why they did it, but we're not selling it anymore. It's just dumb. And what they need to do is take that money, they need to invest that into something else where the drone community can get together with like Race Day Quads, Get FPV, these different drone companies. And when you get on to buy something, you become a customer. Those customers can then get on and they can have like a online on their website or something where drone pilots and people who are actually in the hobby, people who actually are invested into the hobby, can get on and vote on things. And what they should do is get together and create a board of trustees, like people. And I wouldn't even get the main influencers to be on this. I would just say for them to support those types of people. The best thing to do is to get business-oriented people that would be on this board of trustees, that would go based on, they would have questions and say, this is what the hobby community wants. Now we're going to let the hobby community vote on it. And this is what we're going to support as a hobby community. And not everybody's going to agree, but as long as a board of trustees can get together and say, this is what we're going to do to police ourselves. And then the hobby people that are buying this stuff, maybe pay $5 more, say you're out buying a flight control board. You know how much that flight control board costs. And then when you buy that, Get FPV, all these different places that sell drone stuff can actually give an option to where you can pay for the board. That way budget people don't have to do this, because some people, they're having a hard enough time getting into the hobby anyways. And the best thing is to make this more accessible to everybody, so even budget people. So have an option to where, like gas stations, you can go into gas station stuff all the time, and when you pay for your stuff, they say, do you want to donate to children something or other, or do you want to donate to this, do you want to donate to that? And then you can do the extra amount of your change, like up to the certain dollar. So whenever you go to like let's just use Get FPV as an example, you go buy a frame, say that frame costs you $89.99, right? And then it gives you an option to go up to $100, so that extra money can be sent to this board of trustees. And that board of trustees, that if anybody gets in trouble with the FAA, they can actually hire legal counsel to come and actually fight anything that the FAA does. Not only fight any time that the FAA comes after people individually, but fight any stupid rule that comes out. So when remote ID was introduced by the FAA, we should have had legal counsel who was on retainer that could actually get involved and say, no, we're not going to introduce this to our community because this is stupid, and challenge it and take it to court, take it all the way as far as it needs to go. That way it doesn't even have to come down the line and affect people individually. If we can keep it to where it doesn't affect people individually, then that would be the best. So we're already at the point where remote ID exists. So we need to get some sort of I think the best idea, and I don't want to do this, but there's people with way more influence that have way more capital that can actually, if they care about the community, they can actually invest their own capital to start it out. They can take that and initially invest in this, and then everybody can get together and start donating money to fight specific things that the FAA comes out with. If people push the remote ID, we just need to get away from them, and we need to actually start pushing for some type of protection. And the best idea would be just have club meetups, get together with, like other FPV pilots and put on, one event per month at every single state in the United States of America where everybody can get together. And as the hobby grows, people can just get together in certain areas and they can kind of talk about ideas and then pass that up and hopefully get some sort of a board of trustees together that can actually get somebody on retainer to kind of fight any type of these unjust ideas that come out by the FAA. I think that would be the perfect thing for it myself. I think complying with it is the dumbest thing that you can possibly do. I think resisting is the best idea now until we can get some people together that would actually do something like this and take this the legal route. It would just be the best thing for it, I think, personally. But what do I know? I don't know anything. Anyways, my name is Professor Michael Laxey. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. And you know what? If I'm wrong, if this isn't a big deal anymore and we've already got some crap together where people are already fighting for, take my money. You know what I mean? Like put something up. I'll donate something. Anyways, I hope this didn't go over because I've only got 2 flights worth. Hopefully this didn't go over. And we'll see you guys later. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.